The fungus that turns ants into zombies, a horror more disturbing than Hollywood. An alien creature? No, this is a real fungus on Earth. It doesn't kill its prey instantly, it turns them into soulless wanderers, climbing to their own death, and then explodes their heads. Would you believe there exists a fungus whose sole purpose is to turn living creatures into walking corpses, then sprout from their dead bodies? This isn't a horror movie. It's real, and it happens daily in the damp, shadowy forests of our planet. Part 1. The Assassin in the Dark. Deep within the dense forests of Thailand, Brazil, and the Amazon, where sunlight struggles to reach the ground, lives a silent and terrifying organism, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. It's a parasitic fungus, but unlike any other, instead of feeding on rot and decay, it grows from life by manipulating, controlling, and eventually killing its host from the inside. Part 2. Death begins with a single touch. Its victims are worker ants of the Camponotus leonardi species. When an ant accidentally comes into contact with the fungus's spores, its countdown begins. The spore clings to the ant's chitin shell, then germinates, developing microscopic tubes that pierce through the protective armor and invade the body. Within less than 10 hours, the fungus has completely infiltrated the ant's system. Part 3. It doesn't attack the brain, but drives the host insane. But the most terrifying part isn't the speed, it's the method. The fungus doesn't take over the brain. That sounds counterintuitive, but by avoiding the central nervous system, the fungus keeps the host alive longer. Instead, it targets the muscles, releasing biochemical compounds that alter behavior. The ant leaves its colony, loses its sense of direction, and spirals into erratic actions. Part 4. A death that's pre-programmed. At a precise moment, usually near dusk, the ant is compelled to climb a plant, searching for the underside of a leaf about 25 centimeters above the ground, where humidity and temperature are ideal for fungal growth. There, it bites down on the leaf vein and never lets go. Its jaw muscles lock in a death grip, the final bite of its life. Part 5. New life sprouts from the dead. Once the ant dies, the fungus enters its final stage, digesting the internal organs, using the corpse as a life support machine. A few days later, from the back of the ant's head, a stalk emerges, the stroma, filled with millions of spores. When mature, it bursts open, showering spores onto the forest floor below, right where the victim's colony members often pass. A new zombie cycle begins. Part 6. A perfect biological programmer. What makes this process so eerily sophisticated? The fungus doesn't just parasitize, it predicts the environment, manipulates behavior, and fine-tunes physiology like a living biological programmer. Recent studies show that O. unilateralis has a unique gene cluster capable of producing compounds similar to dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that regulate emotion and behavior in animals. Part 7. Decoding the death gene. A study published in BMC Genomics revealed the fungus activates a specific set of genes during infection, controlling muscle activity, light sensing, stress response, and even circadian rhythm, meaning the fungus knows exactly when to act, down to the hour. Part 8. This isn't just an insect story anymore. Just imagine a creature with no brain, no awareness, no nervous system, yet it can manipulate a highly social insect, making it self-isolate, seek out a place to die, and then grow new life from its corpse. And this story isn't limited to ants. Other Ophiocordyceps species have been recorded parasitizing spiders, flies, and grasshoppers. While there's currently no evidence they affect mammals, scientists are beginning to ask, if behavior manipulation via hormones and neurotransmitters is real, could there one day be a variant capable of influencing more complex organisms? Part 9. Inside the body of a unique killer. Can you picture it? A tiny organism with no brain, no eyes, no heart, yet possessing a biological toolkit so advanced it's shocking neuroscientists. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis is not just a fungus, it's a highly specialized biological system, precisely programmed for one purpose: to control its host, then reproduce through its death. Structurally, the fungus's body has three main components. Mycelium, vegetative body, a network of thread-like hyphae that infiltrate the ant's body. This is the control center, spreading through the muscles and between cells. It doesn't destroy the central nervous system but hijacks peripheral tissues, releasing enzymes that alter the host's internal biology. Fruiting body. After the ant dies, a long stalk grows from the back of its head, housing the spore sacs. This robust structure is built to withstand the damp or windy forest environment while spreading spores. Stroma and perithecia. tiny reproductive structures inside the fruiting body where sexual reproduction occurs. The parathecia act like miniature egg chambers, each holding millions of spores ready for release. Part 10. Chemical weaponry hidden in its genes. This fungus isn't just visually terrifying, it hides an arsenal of biochemical weapons. Genetic studies show that O. unilateralis produces protease and chitinase, powerful enzymes that digest ant tissue without triggering its immune system. Neuroactive alkaloids likely disrupt neurotransmission, including compounds similar to serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals that regulate behavior, emotion, and sleep cycles in most organisms. Circadian regulators, a gene group tied to the biological clock, allowing the fungus to time the ants climb to the perfect hour when humidity, light, and airflow optimize spore dispersal. Part 11. Advanced biological traits beyond conscious life. The scariest part? This fungus doesn't act randomly. It selects the exact height, head orientation, leaf underside, time of day, even wind direction. A 2011 study in the American Naturalist showed that 95% of infected ants chose the 25 centimeters height, indicating the fungus learns and replicates success from previous hosts. That's not mindless behavior, that's programming. Part 12. More than a fungus, a biological nightmare. You might think this is just a natural life cycle. But no, this is evolved biology. A living organism whose behavior rivals even the most advanced parasites. A chilling reminder. Nature doesn't need artificial intelligence to create intelligence. Because sometimes, the lack of consciousness makes control even more perfect. No one knows for sure. But what's happening in the forest every day is a warning. Nature doesn't need magic to create puppet masters. They've been here for millions of years, and they're only getting stronger.